think that the biggest security threat is not knowing. Because my research focuses on training and education, I think potential inadequacies in those regards is the biggest threat that we could have. I think education and development and progress and advancement in all of those regards can only make things better. You can never be too educated or too trained. I don't think that's a thing. So not knowing, I think, is the biggest threat.
A lot of the security, when it comes to security and feeling safe in your environment, one of the things that bothers me is that dealing with racism, and especially for young Black men who are struggling with, being stopped over and carted all over and over again, and in a way that's not being treated with other, members of the society, and really that gives me a great deal of sadness and fear. So in general, racism and discrimination is the biggest threat to security when it comes for the Black people.
I think climate change is one of the biggest security threats facing our globe. I think I've heard it described as a threat multiplier, in that all of the problems we're facing now are going to be made substantially worse as everything heats up. Things like migration and immigration and this rejection of that we're seeing, especially by the far right. I think their rhetoric is really going to increase as we have more people that need to come to different places just because where they're living isn't viable anymore.
What is important is human security, and people at various parts of the world, almost every country, at least some people have lived through poverty, hunger, or if not even this, there are people who go through depression. And it's important to look at human happiness and human security, and both are linked to each other.
Women with disabilities are very, very disadvantaged in their own countries because infrastructure is not accessible. They are the weaker part of the society. So if you're going for security, I think it's really important not to forget the women who have disability themselves are at disadvantage, but also women in those countries, if they're looking after a disabled child or a disabled family member, they still cannot get to other development initiatives. So I think we have to have some accommodations put in place to make sure nobody's left behind, especially if it's a money, Canadian money is going, and we do believe in human rights of everyone.